Did you know that if you eat enough nutmeg that it can cause hallucinogenic effects just like LSD? That's right, so go down to your nearest grocery store and suck down as much grated nutmeg as you can. Welcome to the Taste Escape, where you can get closer to the high that you've been chasing after and find some delicious recipes. Today we're going to be making a three cheese pasta. There's probably a better name for that, but I don't know it. So let's get started. First, what you're going to do is start boiling your water. Season it with a lot of salt. The water needs to taste like seawater. And no, that's not too much salt because the pasta is not going to be boiling for that long, so don't worry about it. And I'm not going to tell you exactly how to boil the pasta because the directions are going to be on the box anyways. But whenever I boil it, I normally go less than a minute or two than what the box says. Next, we're going to grab some garlic and some lovely, magically appearing sage. Now just gather up all your sage leaves in a bunch and thinly slice them, or chop them if you want to. I don't think it really matters, but I make no promises. Then you're going to peel and slice up your garlic. You don't want giant hunks of garlic in the sauce, but you want to be able to see and taste it without it being overpowering. However, you can still crush the garlic to make it easier to peel, which may make my previous comment completely irrelevant, but who cares? It'll taste good either way. Once your sage and garlic is prepped, you can now warm up the heavy cream over medium-low to medium heat and add the garlic and sage. You probably don't want too much bubbling, but I don't think it really matters because you can't curdle heavy cream. You can boil it and it'll still be fine. But what you essentially want to do is steep the garlic and the sage in the cream, which I did for about 15 minutes, but you can just do it by however you want to taste it. And then if you want your sauce to be really thick, you can reduce it. I didn't reduce it by that much because I wanted mine to be a little bit runny, but that's up to you. But your sauce will thicken up quite a bit after adding your cheese, so keep that in mind. Anyways, now we can add our very cold butter to our cream. I added mine a tablespoon at a time, which is what I recommend to help the butter emulsify into the cream. And just stir in the butter as you add it. And I ended up adding a piece just as another piece was melting, just to keep it going at a slow and steady pace. Once all your butter has been emulsified into the cream, you shouldn't see any more butter. You can now add all of the cheese. What I have is a mix of blue cheese, aged Gouda, and Gruyere. You can use whatever mix you want, but I went with this because I like strong tasting cheeses. And the details and the ingredients are all on the blog post, which is there's a link in the description of that below. Then just stir it all up until it's melted. So at this point too, once the cheese is melted, that you should taste for seasoning. When I did this, I didn't need to add anything for seasoning because there's already a bit of saltiness from the blue cheese, and then you had those nutty notes from the Gouda, and then sharp, intense, cheesy flavor from the Gruyere. So mine was already all set, but that may not be the case for you. At this point, your pasta should be done or very close to it. So once it's ready, just add it to the sauce. And don't make the same mistake that I did. Use a pan that you know is actually large enough for this dish. My hands may look calm, cool, and collected, but I was actually just dying on the inside as I contemplate how much of a failure I am as an adult and an amateur home cook. But existential crises aside, just carefully mix the pasta into the sauce. And once thoroughly mixed, we're going to add some freshly washed Italian parsley. But seriously, wash it before adding to the dish because the last thing that you want is to taste dirt and grit in your food that you've been slaving over. The way that I like to enjoy this is with some freshly ground black pepper, grated nutmeg, and a little bit of lemon juice. And the mix of cheeses is what really makes or breaks this dish in my opinion. But the sauce is important too because it sets up the foundation of the flavor profile. However, I care more about the mix and the ratio of cheeses. If you wanted to use Fontina instead of blue cheese, that might be nice. Or maybe some pecorino instead of Gruyere, that'll work too. Just work with whatever vibes with you. Anyways, I hope you make and enjoy this recipe and share any feedback with me. The full recipe and ingredient amounts can be found with the link found in the description below. Please smash that like button and subscribe because I need constant validation that what I'm doing isn't a complete waste of time. And I'd love to share more recipes with y'all. So, live your best life and enjoy.